Thax Turner. I love having you in my bar. I just love when you're at my bar, bro.
I love being at your bar, actually.
I appreciate it.
I like the stories and the drinks. I'm not sure. I think they're both pretty, top of the line, if you will.
Music to my heart right there. I appreciate it. Well, listen, I pre-made your drink, okay? And I got to tell you what's in there. I got a little mango.
Okay.
A little bit of ginger flavored sparkling water. Cucumber on top, and a little tahini sprinkled over the cucumber. So
a little tequila, probably.
No,
this is a sneaky mystery drink.
Straight up mocktail. And I'm gonna make one for myself right now, and then I'm also gonna make
healthy.
it.
Wow,
it is.
It's like healthy. My body just screams like, "Oh, this give me
mango,
more."
ginger, cucumber. Like it doesn't get better.
I'm
gonna make myself one right now, and then I'm gonna make an alcohol-based version with some gin. But
I feel like putting some cucumbers on my eyes about now.
You could if you wanted to. You know, listen. Can I tell you one of the reasons I love having you at my bar?
Please tell me.
I mean, there's a lot of reasons, but here's one of them. People love a success story, but it almost always happens in movies. Rocky. A classic example, the hero journey.
Yeah, hero journey.
But in real life, outside of Hollywood, if you're being interviewed in a podcast, you're the vice president of Shamrock Foods, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, food distribution companies in the entire country. Independently speaking, right?
Yep.
So people, they goo gaga over that, and just so. I mean, it's a huge position. You do great at what you do, and all of the beautiful things that go with that. But this is what I always suggest, is that there are millions of people in the entire world, right, who have circumstances that are not great. Either they still aren't great, or they came from a childhood that were circumstances weren't great, and they believe they're routed in this mindset that I can't do anything beyond this because of who I am, where I come from, etc. The thing that I've always been so inspired by about you is that you're VP of Shamrock Foods, and that is not where your life started.
Right.
I mean, remotely close. Right.
Right.
So we've already talked about this. I got your permission. You told me we can't talk about that today. So I mean, what I want, Thax, more than anything, is to shut up and let you tell the story.
Okay.
Where did life start for you, and how did it roll, and where to go next, and how did you arrive at where you are now? Because there's lessons in there, and I want to extract them.
First of all, I appreciate it. You're always so kind. I don't think much of it until usually, I don't even talk about it because to me it's not a big deal.
It's a huge deal, bro.
I think it's just to me it's servanthood leadership to its best. But I was raised in St. Louis. I thought my biological father was my father, ended up not being my father. My mom and him divorced.
Yep.
And I had a little sister, and my mom struggled. I mean, really struggled. So. I could tell when rent was due because we were moving. I mean,
you moved once a month.
Yeah, it felt like it. Yeah. I mean, that's a little bit of exaggeration.
Well, you were a kid, though.
I was a kid, and it was we were moving quite a bit. I remember having to go through the line and get free lunch, and back then it felt like there was a spotlight on me, and it would just like free lunch, free lunch, free lunch. Now they give cars; it's very discreet. Not in those days.
We're talking about the 70s.
Yes.
70s.
Yes. So you're in this line and you're getting this free lunch, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to be in this line forever. I'm just not going to do it.
So you had that mentality.
I did. I had that mentality.
No one gave you that.
Nobody. I had a grandmother that was instilled a lot in me. I would stay with her in the summers.
Yeah.
And she really inspired me.
Yeah.
And but I remember, as a kid, I always had this kind heart. I would find people that didn't have things on the street, and I'd bring them to my basement, let them stay in my basement. I've always kind of been a little different.
Yeah.
But what I found out is that what I thought was a curse ended up being a blessing for me, because what it did is allow me to go from here to here and everything in between, dealing with people.
Yeah.
Because really, truly, we're in the people business, right?
Yeah. I mean, everything you do is people business, right?
Yeah. And so what I've learned is it doesn't matter how much you don't have or how much you have. It really doesn't matter, because everybody has something to give.
Yeah.
A word, a smile, a kindness, a dollar,
that's beautiful.
or whatever it may be.
Everybody has something to give, yeah.
And so I do remember that I had an uncle that would send my mom money every once in a while, and I thought he was really kind, and he really helped, at times. And I just remember that kindness, right? But I always said, I kind of, after a period of time, I started looking at it. I said, what's the difference? Because sometimes you have immigrants that come over here with nothing, as you mentioned earlier.
Absolutely.
They come over with nothing. But I'm born in the U.S. of A., and I have all kinds of opportunities. Even though I didn't have anything, I could still have it. I can have an immigrant heart and mindset because I am an immigrant because I'm different from everybody else. Okay. This is my thought process.
How old were you when you had this thought?
10.
10 years old.
10.
God.
I was 10 years old.
That's amazing.
And I just remember that. And I remember we finally said, my mother said, we're going to move to Arkansas. And I'm in the city of St. Louis at the time. I'm like, Arkansas? I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm a city boy and I'm going to move to Arkansas. Yeah. So I moved to Arkansas and we lived in not such a great part of town. Here's what I remember. I really was athletic because I love sports and it kept my mind right and really helped me through school. So I remember when we were at a store by my house, the wrong side of the tracks. It was called the North End. Not a good place to live. I didn't know it at the time.
Sure.
I thought it was pretty nice, actually.
Yeah.
So it's government housing. And so I had a bunch of friends that were at the store. We were playing pinball at the time. I don't know if you remember pinball. Right?
I remember. You and I are about the same age, bro.
Playing pinball. And I remember dads coming to the store, grabbing their kids, and said, hey, it was after a baseball game. It was an all-star game. They said, hey, we got to get out of here. This is a rough part of town. And I'm there. I'm the only one who lives there.
And you're like, it is?
I'm like, wow. And so I remember that, and that empowered me. And so this little things over time just empowered me. And then when I was 17, I went in the National Guard. I was a junior in high school. I was playing football, doing the 2 days. I left, went to basic training, and then I finished that and came back and I was playing ball. At the time, I wasn't going through the free lunch line then either.
Yeah.
But people really didn't. At that time, I was all-state football, all-conference, so I really was playing a lot of basketball, baseball, football, and that kept me in the game. So even though I didn't have anything, I could still hang with hang with the crowd, right?
Yeah, I get that.
Back then, it was like the jocks and the hoods. There wasn't, so I was a hawk. I was in between. I just played both rows, right? Sure. That was because of my upbringing and dealing with people. And so I went to college because there's no way I was going to be able to afford to go to the college. And I always thought college was overrated. I really did. I still, and I hate to say it, but it's true. I still do. Still do. I went and got my master's, but that's, to me, a paper is a paper. It really is just like you, doctorate, master's. But I just took those principles and then I went to work for Wonder Bread. Right after that, I actually ran a route for like 2 years. Yeah. Then I went to work for Cisco food service. Yeah. And then that's when my life, from the time I was in sales into this role, I was promoted like, 9 times or maybe 10. But I always put my head down, worked really hard, but also too, I realized you better be branding yourself within the organization to stand up, to stand out, to learn how to get through the red tape and do all that. So I took my skills as a young man and learning how to deal with people and red tape and all the things you had to do as a young man, and just use those principles. Immigrant mindset, didn't have anything, but I didn't let that stop me. It fueled me. So I think sometimes people that come from nothing, I think they have an advantage if they'll change their mindset and think of it. I do have an advantage. I have an immigrant mindset, really, even though, because you're kind of immigrant within, because you're by yourself almost, right? Yeah.
Tell me the drink's amazing.
No, a drink is amazing. It's fresh. It's amazing. It's fresh. I want to grab the cucumbers, put them in my eye. It's so fresh.
Well, I'm going to tell you what I did because I made mine with a little alcohol.
Okay,
I made two. I made
You're
one.
amazing.
That one there, the same as yours.
Okay.
Right? This one though, instead of putting
is that two for you or is that just?
That's the second one for you if you want it.
Oh,
There's no booze in there.
Oh,
no booze in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, what I did was I put the cucumbers. See that inside there, with the tahini, a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of lime juice, a little bit of mango syrup, and I muddled it to get all the juices and the oils out and combined. Put a little gin on top of it, right? Gave it a little stir and then poured it into this. Do you want to try the gin base?
Yeah.
Cheers me first. Okay. Cheers me first.
Cheers. I'm going to do this one, right?
Cheers. You're going to take this one. That one's gin. Okay. I'm going to take that one. That one's got that same as that. Okay. Yeah, that one's got a little gin in it. You're going to like that one though. I promise you.
Wow.
You like that?
Wow. Yeah. That was pretty amazing, actually.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You can finish that at any point if you want to, brother.
Dude, wow.
Yeah, I got away. But listen, there's honestly a million things I want to unpack from what you've said. But I'm going to start here based on, the last thing you brought up is how you contacted me, right? This is the true story of that. You and I had been connected on Facebook for any number of years. It wasn't 40 years.
Actually, I bought some of your products online.
Really?
Yes.
Like books?
Yes.
Really?
And and I listened to some of your teachings in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah.
I used to live stream and stuff.
Yeah.
Didn't I?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You did.
I don't think I knew
That's
that.
years ago. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was probably, I don't know, 10?
10 years ago?
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
A long time.
Well, it was only about, 2.5 years ago now? I got a private message from you
Yeah.
introducing yourself. And you didn't try to sell me anything. You didn't try to force anything. What I left with after reading that message from you, the first time we ever really communicated, was this guy is open to helping me if I need help with anything, but doesn't really know, no agenda, nothing like that. And that circles me back all the way to the beginning of your story. Because one of the things you said is you can always give something away.
Yeah.
Smile, $1, a kind word. And that day, in that case, you gave away to me what I took away as a very authentic invitation. If I can ever serve you, if you ever need help with something, that's what it felt like to me. Have you always been like that? You feel the nudge, you reach out.
I feel the nudge. More so as I get older, more so even more today than yesterday.
Yeah.
I just do. And then end up trying to figure out, okay, what is it here? I'm not really sure. But I did, after that, I did hire you for
You did?
To talk to some of my
colleagues and friends.
Yeah. So
that was a good day. I like that.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We'll have to do that again. I enjoyed it. But anyways, I just knew that I needed to reach out and just see, because I know you were kind of like, hey, I'm just kind of looking, I still love what I do and everything. And you're the same way. Yeah. You felt like, you know what, I don't know, there's a different something going on.
Something was changing in me.
I'm going to put this out there, because normally nobody would, especially with your background and what your teachings and your training and all your doctoral stuff, most folks would never do that.
Yeah.
And that's what I was intrigued.
They're protecting their image.
Oh, yes.
Something I've never done.
And you was like throwing it out there like, hey.
Yeah.
And I was like.
Because I felt like I was going through a change.
Yeah.
I wanted to go a different direction. Yeah. So I just kind of
put it out there. Yeah. I was like, I'm not sure.
I wasn't sure what the direction was necessarily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the same way.
Yeah. We're very synced like that. We had coffee not more than 2 weeks after you said that.
It's like 2
message.
weeks. Yeah. We just had a conversation and hey, what's
shaking?
How you doing? What's going on? And what can I do?
Well, here's some of the things I want to unpack. I heard you say loud and clear, hard work. Right? Because I'm still so intrigued.
Yeah.
Single mom. Yeah. Trouble. We don't forget in the details, but troubled childhood.
Yeah.
Challenging.
For sure.
And you glance over it like it's no big deal. It was a big deal, bro.
Right. Yeah.
But you're just, you're set a certain way mentally. So I'm interested in how you went from that to VP of Shamrock Foods. Hard work. You said that. But there's something you also said. You said a lot of things. We're going to talk about them all. One of them you said though was flip the script. Or that's the phrasing I put on it. I think everybody's got challenging circumstances, either perennially or one time or another.
Right.
I love the fact that you said, look, this doesn't have to be a problem, a weakness. Change that into a strength.
Yeah.
And I feel like an immigrant, I explain that deeper, because I think that was a huge silver bullet for you.
Yeah. Just think about the immigrants that come over with nothing and they have challenges and they're moving around too and they're trying to make things work. If you're growing up when you don't have anything and you're in the USA, you're like an immigrant.
Yeah.
Because you stand out.
And
maybe not in the way that you want to stand out.
Right.
But I do think everybody, look, I'm not going to be a professional basketball player. I get that. I'm not going to be a professional football player, right? I realize that. But I also know that there's things out there that we all can do, and we just have to decide that, you know what? Today, you said, I'm going to switch the script, and I'm going to get it together mentally, physically, and then you just start stepping towards those areas. But you got to want it. I think you got to be almost sick and tired of being tired.
Yeah.
Me being sick and tired of being tired is like not having anything. And I was like, but my mother was unbelievable. Our place was clean. My sister was awesome. you don't have choices.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to make choices.
You didn't have options.
Didn't have options.
You
There
wanted to
go.
be able to have some options.
I wanted
in life.
options. Yeah, I can make the choice, but I didn't. I wanted options. Right?
But that was so perfect the way you said that, because that actually is like the second law of Thax. The first is work hard. There's no excuse, work hard. But the second law, you said it right there. So many people who are down and out don't think they have options. What you're saying is then create some.
Yes, you're a creator, man.
Yeah.
Look, God created you to be a creator. You're a co-creator with God. What do you mean? You have the same ability.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care what your belief systems are, whatever. But if you
One of my favorite things about you. You're Christian.
yeah, absolutely.
But you don't care.
I don't care. I don't
Nor
care.
do you try to shove
I
it.
don't even do anything.
Yeah.
I don't. I'll never do that. But I mean, Christ said there would be others that do more works than I. That's paraphrasing. Right?
Yeah,
Better
right.
works, touch more things. Right.
Yeah.
So whatever, it doesn't matter. You still have the energy of that.
Yeah.
You know, you have the energy of that. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
So-
I feel you. You know, it's interesting. Whenever I talk this is what Lao Tzu said in the Tao Te
Yeah, I
Ching,
love that when you
people
say
are
it.
interested.
Yeah.
When I say this is what the Buddha said, people are interested.
Yeah.
Whenever I say this is what Christ said, people turn it off.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what, they're all teachers.
Yeah, I know.
They're all teachers.
I know they do.
But
I know they do.
I want to say, I think it's Luke 17:21, and it says, the kingdom of God is in you.
Absolutely.
I've interpreted that as it happens above,
Yeah.
it can happen below.
Oh, yes.
Meaning I have that power
Yes.
if I choose to use
Yes.
it, channel it, do something
Yes.
with it. But you know what there's no room for? Victim.
No.
No room.
No. But you don't have to be.
You don't have to be.
I
Create
don't
the
care
options you
I don't
want.
care what you do. I don't care if you you name it. I don't care if you went out and you did something crazy I don't care. That was last night and today's a new day.
Yeah.
And so you got to quit. You got to dust yourself off.
You don't judge people. I've noticed that. Yeah.
Because I know you. As soon as you do that, I've done that. I'm like, I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem looking around. I don't have that problem. Next thing you know, boom. I have
You're
what
dressing
happens?
somebody
I
all
dress
of a
in
sudden,
something.
yeah.
So what I've learned is like, man, today when I get up, today's going to be my best day. And every day is going to be my best day. When I fall, I do fall, I'll say something I shouldn't say. I'll be a little too hard on someone.
Yeah.
And then I'll come back around and I notice the corrections that I need to make. And then I just move on. But I always had this ability. I think I got it from my grandmother. I don't hold shame and I don't hold guilt. I'm really good about forgiving myself. I'm really good about forgiving myself. I think when you learn to forgive yourself, it's amazing.
Everything changes.
Because you don't hold anything. Because you're like, you know what? I made a mistake. I'm moving on.
Yeah.
But also, I'm easy to forgive people. If it's hard for you to forgive, then you're going to harbor stuff because you're not congruent with yourself. Because you're lying to yourself. You want forgiveness, but you don't forgive others.
That's beautiful. Congruous. Well said. I've always thought people who they hold grudges.
Yes.
People who don't forgive easily, the actual problem they have is with themselves. And they just don't realize that. And that lack of congruence makes them project it out.
Yes.
As opposed to look inside. What am I not aligned with about myself?
Yes.
You and I
talked about this. What you don't like in someone else, you don't like in yourself.
That's right. I believe there's a lot of truth to that.
When
I believe there's total truth.
When I look at you, it's a reflection of me.
Yeah.
Because really, in the end, we are connected no matter what your belief systems are.
Agreed. No matter what your belief systems
I don't give a
are.
shit.
Yeah.
We're connected.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
We're connected.
Yeah.
I mean, I do that. Some people, I'll get up on stage and on my team and I'm going to throw an F-bomb out there or something.
Yeah.
You go, damn, man, we don't know. Sometimes if you're a preacher or if you're a heathen, I said, I'm both. Just like you are.
That's right.
I'm both.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? And I want to, and I don't ever change who you are. You know how some people are like, oh, I want to be like him. No, I can't be I can't do you, man. There's no way I can do this. You're amazing at it, but you can't do me.
No.
We have different skill sets. So whatever that skill set you're, I don't really care what that is. Get that skill set and find it and run with it.
Yeah.
Be Superman with that.
Superwoman. Yeah, right. You just went into the third, I'm calling them the laws of Thax, by the way. First is work hard.
Yes.
Second is, if you don't like your options, create better options.
What I'm saying.
Okay, the third one you just said there is a retrofit to something you said 10 minutes ago. When you entered the corporate space, this is what you said. You said, stand up to stand out.
Yes.
So I'm interpreting that as be the best fucking version of you and wake up with that intention.
Yes.
So what does that mean to stand up to stand out?
Stand up, stand out to me is this. Look, Shamrock is the vehicle that I chose, right? But then there's this little thing called Thax Turner. Yeah. That's my brand. That's who I am, right? So in the organization, I love Shamrock, but I love me more. I just do. If you better love you more than you better love your company. You can love your company, but you better love you. Or love your business, or your financial, whatever, it doesn't matter. But you better be able to, what is it that you're going to do in this organization that makes you stand up and stand out with your brand and who you are? Who are you showing up to be?
Everybody is a brand.
Everybody's a brand.
Keep going. I like
Everybody
that.
is a brand. So when you're in this organization, you're branded, you look for things that other people aren't doing and you do those things. Now, today, I would say putting your head down and working hard is not the form of success. It's part of it. What it is, you got to learn. You got to learn the red tape, the politics, how it works, who does what, where. Make your boss look good, even though you don't like your boss. There's times I didn't like my boss, but you know what? I was going to come in with excellence and do my best. A lot of times that made the boss a little bit, a little bit worried about his position.
Sure.
But that's when you got to learn to think and how do you ease that too, right? But you got to learn about the politics. There's so much within the organization you have to learn. So you just need to learn to get past the red tape and to brand yourself and be known, to solve problems, be solution based. All the little simple things that they're simple. You just got to think about how I can do that. Find a problem and solve it.
Find a problem and solve it.
Solve it.
I'm really intrigued right now. Everybody's a brand.
Everybody.
I love that.
Everybody.
What's your brand? You got to know your brand, who you are, what you are.
Yeah.
But insofar as the ecosystem of stand up to stand out, what I'm hearing is work harder on yourself than you do on your business.
100%. And you've heard that, Hunter. You've heard that so many times.
Yeah, but I like the way you're saying it, though. I'm hearing it differently, the way you're phrasing it. Stand up to stand out. Know your own brand, your brand. Everyone's got a brand.
Yeah, know who you are.
Yeah.
And know what value you bring.
Yeah.
And two, here's something I would tell someone today. As I get older, I walk like this, and it's not of ego. It's not of a know-it-all, but I walk like you have to have me company. You don't want to go against me. So what happens is when you're younger and you're starting out, you're worried that you may lose your position. So you do things and you got the golden handcuffs. There's a way out of the golden handcuffs, right? Even at my role with all the LT tip and all the opportunities I have and my retirement's worth a lot. I mean, if I stick with it, I don't worry about if somebody's going to come in and okay, the day's your last day. I don't worry about Amazon, 14,000 people. I don't worry about it. I don't worry about it. Because I'm not handcuffed to it. Once you get handcuffed to it and you start worrying about it, you will not produce. You will not have the confidence. You won't be able to stand up, stand out. Your brand will be tarnished.
Yeah. It's like playing a sport defensively as opposed to offensively.
Yes.
You're trying too hard to protect what you have.
Right.
As opposed to moving forward and getting more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it doesn't have to be material things we're talking about. That's not
absolutely
the point.
not. Right.
Yeah.
And the way I look at it, it's like being a one percenter in baseball or football or whatever. What are they doing?
Yeah.
They're branding themselves. They're standing up. They're standing out. They're solving solutions. Right. They're learning the playbooks. They're learning what works. They're learning. I'm going to do this a little differently. I'm going to have a little bit of a twist and I'll be a little faster. It's the same playbook.
It is.
And everything you do, it's a playbook.
It's one of the things I was so excited about for this conversation is that, we can take whoever, George Clooney, Tom Brady, Oprah Winfrey, I don't care.
Yeah.
Put them all in the same place.
Right.
Let them tell their individual stories, extract the point. I bet you come up with the same playbook.
100%.
But I like your playbook. I like the way you tell it. Yeah. And I like your story of where you started to where you are now. And how again, you've had to overcome a lot.
Yeah.
And you did.
Yeah.
You did it, what appears to me rather effortlessly, because you just innately knew these are the things that had to happen next, and that's kind of what we're isolating here. But I'm really loving this so far.
But I had things to overcome in my mind, and my head too, and just I didn't have anybody to talk it through. So I was like, all right, how do I do this? How do I do this? I'm always in my head going, okay, how do I get past this, or how do I overcome this? But I think I've always had a generous heart, and I think that's always I really cared about. I've connected with people, and I've always been like that. Yeah. But I also learned that I could put a blockade up to if I need to.
Yeah.
Because you could be taken advantage of as well, and which I have in the past. And I remember one time I'm like, why me, God? Why? And he said, why not you? I'm like, oh, you know, and it's why not you?
Yeah.
So everything that you go through, even the tough times, there's always a lesson. Now when I look back, we can take a minute right now and say, oh, if this wouldn't have happened, that wouldn't have happened.
Of course.
I wish I would have got that, but I ended up getting this and this would happen. But we all have those stories.
Yeah.
And they all just work out like this little puzzle. It's amazing how it works out.
It
But
really
you
is,
have to really
actually.
think about, you know what? Damn, I have a lot of gratitude. I'm
Yeah.
thankful.
Yeah.
If you have $500 in a bank and you got a bicycle and you have an apartment and you got a heat and air, that's 1% of the world's population.
It really is.
You know,
Perspective's an amazing thing.
right?
Yeah.
So
You know, you're hitting upon Thax's fourth law right now. You don't even know it, but it's the one I was going to. It's crazy how we keep sinking like that.
we always do.
We always do. We always do. You've always had a giving heart. That's what you said.
Yes.
So there's a very, very short parable in Taoism. Lao Tzu says, if you want to gain intelligence, learn something new every day. If you want to gain wisdom, forget something every day.
Oh.
So release
Trade.
as opposed to acquire.
Yeah.
So why do I say that parable?
Yeah.
It's simply this. Thax's fourth law is give something away.
Yeah.
Smile, a kind word, $1, $10,000, give away. I think, and you talked about it before. You talked about protecting what you have as opposed to, you know, giving more, doing more, being more. This is the same kind of law. People are so quick to want and so resistant to give.
Yeah.
But that sounds like it's been something you've always been since you were even a kid.
Yeah. I've been a giver.
Yeah.
I've always been that. And two, you know, I have.
And you've been hurt by that, though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, look, and two, shit happens. You know, I got a son that's got bipolar. He's 28 years old, and he needs a lot of support. He's got a identity issue as well, so he struggles. And I remember that one of the things I said is, well, why me? And the guy said, why not you? I learned a lot of lessons. Now, he's a pain in my ass at times, but I learned a whole lot. And what I've learned is people don't really know what they're going through. I remember being in a board meeting, my son, I'm sitting, getting ready to present. My son cuts his arms, breaks a glass, cuts his arms, and takes a picture and texts us that I'm going to kill myself. I'm right in the middle of a major presentation, right? And I look at that, and I'm like, oh. I was like, I felt the anxiety come on. Face getting red. I just had to take a step back and go, okay, there's something to learn here. And then I just kept going. And after that, I was like, man, what, you know, people think that because I smile all the time and in fact, you got it made, but they just don't know, like you said, they don't know the backstory. So what I've learned is from that is like everybody has a backstory. I had a friend that had a lot of money and I thought he was spoon fed. I said, man, you're spoon fed. Well, I found out his dad was abusing him. And I didn't know that. On the outside, he looked like he had everything. But on the inside, he was wanting to die.
Yeah.
So between that, my son, and instances like that, I'm like, damn, we all have something.
Everybody's got a story. And
Right?
it's never a crystal clean, good story.
And you have your stories
100%,
make your stories. I can sit for hours with you in your story.
100%. Yeah.
You know, but it's all that I can see when you. And I know we're probably going to talk about today, but your story led you exactly. I see when you tell me that story, I'm like, wow, I see exactly why you're where you're at.
Yeah.
At this
The
point,
dots start to connect, right?
It made sense. I'm like, okay, now I see why he's like he is and how he thinks, and you know, with your dad and all this stuff.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So it's amazing. So that's the thing is take the time. You know, take the time.
Take the time to what? Know your story?
No, take the time to just like. Take the time and just like sometimes reflect on where you're at and the thankfulness and the gratitude, and just be really happy that you're in your situation no matter what it is.
Yeah. I've lost count. I think that was the fifth.
Yeah.
Thax laws. That was number 5.
I like that.
We're gonna figure out a way to put those in the show notes. Then we're gonna give them to you to write a book.
No, okay.
Okay, but take the time is number 5.
Yeah. So anyway, I took all of that, what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I think you knew this. So I just took everything I learned, and like, especially if you're in corporate America, I wrote that book on, you know, that on how to get around in corporate and how to do the things, all the things, the politics, the bureaucracy. There's a lot to that, right?
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing in the corporate world, we was talking about the corporate world, you're not an entrepreneur, but you are an intrapreneur.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
You're
And
expected to lead a division.
You lead, and you know, you got the P&L and you have all that. So treat it as your own, and do that at an early start. And You can row. And I would tell you, going back to the corporate side, I would tell people, get in a row and spend in that row 5 or 6 years and go ahead and find something else.
Yeah.
Go ahead and find something else. Get a little bit of experience. I would, back in my day, I was working 19 years for this company, and now 16 years for this company.
Yeah.
Not a lot of movement.
Yeah.
I should have done that. I should have done that 4 or 5 years earlier.
Gotcha.
And I didn't. I would suggest if someone's in that, they would, make those moves, because it's a ladder step and it gives you the experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you, I'm deciding what your 6th law is.
Okay.
Because I know what it is. I'm just going to ask you to tell it to us.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
It's your rituals.
Oh.
Right? It's your rituals. Because these are the things we talk about a lot.
Yeah.
Thax, you wake up at the same time every morning.
I do.
You do the same thing every morning.
Every day.
It is the grounding foundation
foundation.
on which you build your day, your life,
It's
all of it.
No negotiations.
There's non-negotiables.
No, it's non-negotiables. It's it's the foundation.
Yeah.
I work up. I started out just I started out 15 minutes of meditation.
Yep.
I did a 15-minute workout.
Yep.
And I worked on my spiritual side for 15 minutes, and I worked on my business plan for the day for 15 minutes. So that's how I started.
So an hour every morning.
An hour every morning.
Kinda
Now it's
cover all of it.
now it's way more than that. But it's still the foundation. You can do other things. People do red light therapy, cold plunge. All that's great. I'm not gonna walking, grounding. That's a good one. All that.
Yeah.
But I say if you just want to keep it simple, sometimes you just got to keep life simple. What do? I work in my mind. I work my body. I eat good. I work out. I work on my spiritual side, and I do my business plan in the mornings. And I do that every day. Every day? Yeah, every day. Like, 4 days a week? No, every day.
Every
when
day.
you're in Europe? Every day.
Yeah.
Years and years and years and years of it.
The compound interest.
It's just that, right?
Isn't it?
People say, well, I got a bad knee and I got a bad shoulder. I had both shoulders done, both knees done, and doing Ironmans. You already know this.
Yep.
So it's what you decide.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy too? They told me, I was like, Thax, your knees, you're not going to be able to run much longer.
Yeah.
They told me that like 5 years ago. I went and got my knees checked about a year ago, 2 years. Like, wow, man, your spaces your knees are fantastic. What are you doing? I'm running 30 miles a week.
Right. Contraindicated. Not supposed to. Yeah.
Not supposed to.
Yeah.
But just little things like that gives me wins in my mind. And also, like you said, they compound these little wins.
Massively compound.
But I would tell everybody, if I was starting out today and I was just a young man, young lady, I would just say, I'm going to do these 4 things every day, and I am going to figure out life.
I love it. I want to break it down. 15 minutes of meditation.
Yeah.
That is your mind work.
Mind work.
Then you train for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Obviously
Yeah.
physical and physical mind connection.
Yeah.
Then you work on your spiritual
side.
stuff.
Yeah.
Was it prayer?
I do prayer. I do meditation. I read the scripture. I listen to you. I get different perspectives. I love it.
Yeah.
I don't care. I may listen to a Muslim and listen to what he's had to say. I love it.
Absolutely.
So I want to love it. I want to be able to stand firm in my belief, but love you. That's what I do. That's why I do it. I don't care.
It matters.
Right?
It matters.
And then my business side. Now
the business side is your intentions for the day.
Yeah, but now
which is so important.
Yeah, so I do a little bit more today. I mean, I spend probably a little bit more, and I work out an hour a day now.
Yeah.
But I didn't start out that way.
Right.
As I get older, I do a little bit more. But I would say for years, I just did that.
Yeah. Can I give you some science on the stuff you do innately?
Yeah, because you probably know. Yeah, I don't know the science.
All of it is it's perfect, right? It's neurologically stimulating. It would be classified as what we call top down and bottom up. Mm-hmm. So nervous system goes mind down and physical body up. They both have to be exercised for us to have a sturdy mind.
Yeah.
Okay, and a strong heart. Mm-hmm. The meditation, the prayer, top down. Mm-hmm. The physical training. Sometimes the meditation, bottom up. So you're working the nervous system in good ways from both ends, which is necessary. Mm-hmm. The one I love though is the intentions for the day as you close your morning ritual. Mm-hmm. So the brain has 2 operating systems, open loop, closed loop. Can't be in both at the same time. It's either in one or the other. Open loop means we have a higher degree of proclivity to anxiety, overthinking, overwhelm, because our brain is searching for predictability. It's searching for an answer to a problem, and we're not giving it either, right?
Ruminating.
Yes. What's next? What's next? What if I don't have time for this? How is this going to work? But you spend time, this is what I'm doing today.
Yes.
That closes the loop for your brain. You've given it predictability. You've given it a solution to a problem. You've informed your brain, this is what we're doing today. Closes the loop. The brain calms down.
So too, when you think about give me awareness, let me see, let me be a support today.
Yeah.
I think your brain is like, who can I help? Right?
Without question.
So
that's the reticular activating system.
So that's
at
saying,
work.
hey man, you find so that way when you look at somebody, you're like, and man, I've been there. I've been at the coffee shop. I'm like, man, I'm not gonna go up to that person, man.
Yeah.
Like, no, you are. I'm like, God, are you kidding me right now? Yeah. Trust me. Go up to her and say something.
Yeah.
And you do. I'm like, oh, they were so nice. Whatever, right? Can I get you a cup of coffee? Hey, look, your nails look awesome. Look, I'm happily married. I've done this before. God's telling me, like, go up there and say that. And she's a hot chick. People don't think I'm hitting on her. And really, that's not my thoughts when I see her.
Yeah.
It's like, you need to go buy her coffee. She's having a rough day. You just don't know it. On the outside, she's beautiful. On the inside, she's dying. Stuff like that.
Because everybody's got a story.
Everybody's got a story.
Yeah. I love what you said there. I interpreted what you said as that sometimes in prayer you say things like, tell me who to help, what to do.
Show me.
But listen, taking the metaphysical out of it, there is science to that. Yeah. You are informing your brain. This goes back to the reticular activating system. You're forming your entire ecosystem of what to look for that day. You're building and baking in self-awareness to the next 24 hours. So you might not realize it, but you're scanning the coffee shop and looking for the person who might look like they're sad.
Yeah.
Literally.
No matter what look at you're sad, or, it could be someone, well, don't give him money, he's a panhandler. Well, you know what? I feel called to do that. I don't care what he does with it, but me is telling me, give him $5.
And that's often called self-suggestion or auto-suggestion.
Yeah. So what do you about the heart? Give me the heart, because you're
I think it's a huge component of the
energy, because you talked about that.
Yeah, and I think energy is the right way to phrase it. I think it's hard to quantify. We know how the brain operates. It's not that we don't know how our heart operates, but we don't necessarily know how it operates as a thinking organism. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes.
But energetically, I think, I talk about this with people all the time. I think everyone has strong intuition. I think everyone has.
If you learn to tap into it, even more.
Right there. But only if you have access to it.
Yeah.
Because people say things like, always trust your gut. And I'm like, no. Because we also have an ego.
Yes.
And Christians would say there's also a devil.
Yes.
So the first step of accessing your intuition is knowing yourself well. When is it your intuitive voice?
Right.
When's it your ego voice? If you don't know the answer to that question, then no, don't always trust your gut. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah. You have to and learn to be too, because I have to be I'm logical too because of my role.
Of course.
Because I deal with a lot of stuff, make a lot of decisions, look at data, look at information.
Listen, I've seen you on your phone chronically. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
So you're looking at that, but you marry the two, And then I would tell you, if you're not analytical and you make sure you just surround yourself with great people that can do those things, because you don't have to. Like me, I don't do spreadsheets. I used to. Well, why would I want to do a spreadsheet? Yeah. That's stupid. But
there are smarter people.
You don't want me doing spreadsheets. You don't want to pay me me what you're paying me to do a spreadsheet. That's a mistake. Yeah. Fine. So you find the right people to do that job. It's like you got a whole team around you.
Yeah.
You can't do it all yourself. You're
Every
great.
one of them are better than me at a million things.
Yeah. And so you're good at what you're good at, and you know it. Too, that's something else too I think about. It's like, instead of 10 or 15 things, get that one or two things you're really good and really focus on it and be like Superman or Superwoman. I talked about be really good at it.
I'm with you.
Because when you do that, it's hard to like, man, he's really good at that, man.
It's a thing I toggle on sometimes. People talk about like ignore your weaknesses. Other people say make your weaknesses strong. For me, I want to hone in on the gifts I have and make them perfect. Yeah. Or as perfect as I can make them.
Do not spend a lot of time on your weaknesses. I disagree. I mean, I agree with you on that. Because why? Because it's only going to get you. What is going to get you? So if you move that weakness from a 1 to a 3 or 4, I don't understand the benefit of that.
Yeah, 40% still.
I mean,
sucks.
still, right? When I can get somebody can do it around me for me at 80%, some people too have a problem letting things go, and they're like, well, no, they're not as good as me at it, and that may be true in some things. But if you can get someone at 80%, 80%, 80%, 10, 80% is way better at you to 100.
Yeah.
Because then you can't give everything you got in those 2 lanes and kill it.
Thax's law number 7: focus on your strengths and make them better.
Absolutely.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. All right.
This is so good.
Yeah, don't forget the one with gin, bro. Either one, I can take it.
I'm pissing them right now.
I'm going to try to figure out a way. When I say I'm going to try to figure out a way, somebody way smarter than me is going to figure out a way to get Thax's laws in the notes on this show, so that these lessons aren't just a conversation, but they're things people can refer to over and over again. That's what I'm going to try to do. And I tell you what, I can't thank you enough for this, man.
Oh, thank you. I always appreciate the invite. I love when we get together, the stories, the conversation.
Unbelievable, brother.
Right?
You're
and I'm
a
proud
wealth
of you.
information.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
You're going to down that gin before we're done.
No, I'm not going to down that gin, but it is really good. Right?